All right, so we had a snafu with filming, and we lost the last couple minutes, so we're going to try again. So, I've already removed this. The motor, when it spins like that, will spin that in a circle. But because this is outside of that circle, it will push this back and forth like that, no matter the motor just moving in one direction. So that's why you don't have to have a forward or reverse. It's just going to do it either way. It'll just keep going back and forth. Now, one thing I'm going to show you, I'm going to hit the grinder with this to see, that it's full copper. And what happens is that you'll see on a lot of ads, full copper windings. That's an upsell because they're better. They're built better. They are more powerful. They don't wear out as easy. They don't overheat as easy because it can handle the higher power, which is why I'm shocked that this cheap one actually had it in there. This was a brushed motor, which is something they did to keep it cheaper. But it's a good selling point because it does matter, especially if you're really going to use the tool. Now here you see that fan blade right there. And you guys have been running tools forever, know when it smells hot, it feels hot. What a lot of people do when they do that is just turn it off. It's the worst thing you can do. You want to remove it from the load and keep it at maximum throttle, full speed, so that it keeps that air moving and can remove as much heat. Because by the time you know it's overheated, it's already too hot. And then you're going to take all the airflow away from it so it sits there and bakes. Take it away from its job. In a Sawzall, you pull it off the piece you're cutting and just hold it in the air and let it run. Drill, same premise. Because, especially on drills, we all like to put our hand over the vents. Sawzalls, you're in a tight spot too. And you got your hand right by this fan, so you need it to keep going. Now here, you got your full copper. And we're just going to hit this with the Sawzall and see how well we can pull this out. You got a nice clean cut on that side, which means these should just pull right out. Look at that. You would break your little zip ties off of them, and for funsies, we'll weigh this out right here. Again, we're going off of even round numbers at $4 a pound. And let's just see. I gotta be one of the few people in the valley that uses one of these for precious metals. Turn it on. .3 ounces, so 50 cents maybe. We'll throw that in the motor windings bin. Again, if you guys are ever out there and you see these videos and you want some of this for arts and crafts, we do sell. I will make shot and post it online, and I make bars and post them online. But also, this kind of stuff I could get for you and would cost less than the shot and bars because I don't need to melt it down for you. So we do try and do a lot with arts and crafts, a lot of things creative. We're actually going to have our Etsy store open coming up and get the Shopify store up. We had everything up before we moved and then put everything on pause. The Etsy store will focus on arts and things that you either have made around here or, we made in particularly, or imports that tickled my pickle. After that, the Shopify store will be things tools that I personally use and recommend. A lot of people ask me for stuff like that. So I'm going to try and have stuff in the 3 different price points of what's the best bang for your buck for a $20 Sawzall, a $70 Sawzall, and a $200 Sawzall. So it'll be obviously heavy with DeWalt tools and these Knipex channel locks, things that I know personally work well. Now, this motor, I have a sneaking suspicion, is going to be as hard as the other one, so we may give it a quick try, but I'm not going to film the whole thing if it doesn't work well. it's worth. That's aluminum. Anything I'm sticking to is the steel behind it. I'm not worried about it. So this stuff definitely looks baked in there, like covered in epoxy. I imagine some of it has to do with not just heat, but trying to keep dirt from in it. You can see how hard it is to cut this. So I'm gonna throw this in my motors, my breakage, and call it a day on this. Unfortunately, to remove this without turning into burning or chemicals is something I'm not going to be able to do real easy. And at this time, again, we're never going to burn it for the environmental damage, but the chemical setup I am not set up for at the moment. So that'll end this video on Sawzalls.